Death is like the wind, always by my side.
Yo, what is up guys? Today I wanted to make a video about Yone and what changes I want to see for him, because I feel like a lot of people do not like playing this champ currently, and they don't like playing against him, which I think is valid on both sides right now. So yeah, I just wanted to make a little video about changes I want to see for him in the future. Yeah, bear with me, this is kind of like a middle school presentation type thing, but you know. Okay, let's get into it. So first, I want to say lethal tempo is not the issue. So I feel like a lot of people think a lot of Yone players are mad because lethal tempo is gone, which honestly some of them are, and the ones that are, I'm gonna be honest, are just noobs, because lethal tempo is not good for the game. So I'm actually really glad they got rid of it. But yeah, I said huge misconception is that Yone players are mad because lethal is gone. Again, like most of the good Yone players or Yone players do not care about lethal tempo being gone, because yeah, it was very toxic for the game. I do not believe Yone should just be able to get level 3, level 4, and just all-in you with one combo and have 1.3 on his Q that early. I think that was really toxic for the game and really stupid. Or like any level 1 fight, if you just face checked him, he kills you. So yeah, I think that was really dumb. And it's a step in the right direction, so I'm happy about that. I'm not opposed to lethal tempo being gone. I think it's really good. But the thing is, he was so balanced around the rune that if you don't really change anything about his kit, the champion's gonna be not feeling very good in terms of like power and like playing him, you know. So yeah, lethal tempo was good that they got rid of, but they need to do more than just buff his armor. Which the reason why the buffs are bad, in my opinion, is because 3 armor doesn't really make his hard matchups like playable. Like, do you really think plus 3 armor is gonna be the difference between like beating a Pantheon, Darius, Jax? Like, not really. Like, that's not why he's like weak right now. Obviously he is weak because they buffed him because the numbers are so low. Yeah, plus 3 armor is not really the reason. Also, he's struggling a lot in mid and top. And the thing with plus 3 armor is that like making a lot of the easy matchups currently in mid lane are AD champions. So Kiana, Zed, and Fury, these champs are already like really easy for Yone. So giving him plus 3 armor is just making his easier matchups even more easy, you know? I know this buff was aimed towards top lane, but I think he's like not very strong mid lane either at the moment. There's like way better options. Like Yasuo, for example, is like almost always better. Tristana, I mean, no need to mention Tristana. That champ is just the most broken mid laner in the game right now, so not really a Yone thing. But yeah, I think it's a really weird buff just because the champ is really struggling against AP champs as well as AD champions. So yeah, next slide is about what I would rather see buffed. So obviously I don't want all 3 of these buffs. I think the best one is just buff his attack speed growth, because it makes it a lot more fun in terms of like, oh, if you actually land your combo early game, you can actually punish. Because like currently, even if you land your combo early, you're not really doing too much damage at all. Like, I get he's a scaling champ, but I've had like a Corki just like W into me as a range champion, melee range, and I just can't win. It's just like, I don't know. I know Corki's OP, but it's like, there should be an extent that he's just tanking a whole minion wave and I just can't do anything in return because I just have no attack speed early game. I think it's really wild. If not that, then buff his HP/MR, because I feel like a lot of the unplayable matchups mid right now are AP. I can't really think of too many AD matchups. Even Tristana's not that bad, in my opinion at least. Maybe I'm versing bad Tristanas, but every time I do that lane, it's not too bad. Akshan being the only like impossible AD lane, I would say. But yeah, when I think of like really hard matchups mid lane, it's like Akali, LeBlanc, Syndra. Like, these matchups are not playable, no matter what. So I feel like it'd be good to like buff his MR/HP. Maybe HP, that's what they did to Akali, because he's struggling against both types of champions, so yeah. Or I want to see level C ulti are reduced by like 10 seconds. I think it's fair, because I think it's really long cooldown at the moment. It's like 120, I think. So if he's not going to have much attack speed, at least give him like a little bit more opportunity to like have some team fights early on and just like pick potential. I think is completely fair. But yeah, I think this is a lot better than just plus 3 armor. I think it's a really boring buff and doesn't really fix anything. But besides the buffs, I think the main issue right now is the build path is like very wonky. This is the first patch ever that Yone and Yasuo have not had a crit item burst as like a viable item. which is very weird because it's been 10 plus years since Yasuo's come out. There's never been a time where like there's no crit item that you can go first. It is really weird. I don't think that's correct and what they want. I could be wrong, but yeah, if after 10 years they're just like, okay, we're fine with Yasuo Yone not having a crit item as the first. It's just like really weird to me, so I think they should really change that. My next point is that build variety is very fun for the game, and currently there is none. It's just Bork, 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 and Bork. That's it. There's nothing else you could do. Like, maybe Kraken some games. I think Kraken's really good on Yasuo, but for Yone, it's like, I mean, Bork is better. So, it's kind of weird. And there's a reason before this patch that nobody went Bork on Yone, right? Well, I think they did a lot in Korea, but the reason why is because, like, in mid lane especially, once you have, like, Bork into, like, your second item, it makes teamfighting really, really awkward and, like, unfun. Like, you just hit, like, a 3-man ult, but you have Bork, so you do, like, no damage. You're just like, oh. So that's, like, the reason why nobody really went Bork that much on Yone mid. As far as, like, Yone mains who wanted to, like, 1v9. Which I think is healthier for the game anyway, because Bork first item is really boring. Just because once he builds Bork, he's basically Thanos in a 1v1 setting. Which is boring. It's like, oh, he goes in side lane, you can't beat him. He's just gonna one-shot you. But I think it's a lot more fun to, like, get rid of that, like, make him weaker in the 1v1 and laning phase, and just, like, have that 2-item spike. It's just way healthier all around for everyone, in my opinion. So, maybe they could, like, nerf Bork and, like, make a crit item, like, PD. But yeah, my solution for crit item would be either Shield Bow as a viable first item. I'll probably just give it attack speed. I don't think you can give Shield Bow the shield, attack speed, and lifesteal again. I think that'd be probably too OP. I'm not sure. I'm on the balance team, so. But yeah, I mean, I would just accept attack speed. Like, I don't need lifesteal. We're chilling. I mean, I'll get to that point later, but yeah, I think either just having Shield Bow as a first item would be really fine. I don't think AD carries would really abuse that either. It having more attack speed, because they're already good on that. Or just make PD Navori a viable first item. The reason why PD Navori just isn't viable, like a lot of people thought they would, even Freak said PD is viable, which it's not, is because it just gives no AD at all. It just gives like 60% attack speed, you know? So I think if they just lower the attack speed on PD, just give it like even like 20 AD or something, like that would be perfectly fine. Because what that does is make it so we can go like PD IE again. And it just makes the early game worse for us, like at one item. But we're playing for that 2-item spike to like 1v9 fights, which is a lot more fun, and I mean, I think it's more healthy altogether than just going Bork and automatically winning 1v1. But yeah, it would feel really nice to be able to go Bork when you really need it into tanky comps, like if you have to. Because before this patch, it was like, okay, you're only going Bork if you really have to. Like, oh, they have like a Sejuani Galio, then you're going Bork. There's a reason why people didn't do it every single game, you know? And then having like the PD IE option, or Shield Bow IE option against like a squishy burst comp, because it just feels really awkward going Bork into a Zed Fiddle. Like, what? It's just, you don't need those stats, you know? What's the point of it? Ideal build pass that should be in the game: Bork Shield Bow IE versus tanky comps, and PD / Shield Bow, whichever one they do, into IE, and then a tank item. Because, again, right now it's just Bork Shield Bow no matter what, or Bork IE no matter what. Which is really awkward when you're against those really squishy comps. It just feels like you die in one hit, and yeah, you don't really need the Bork damage, so it's just kind of wasted. And as you can see by the stats, the only viable positive win rate first item is Bork. I mean, there is Shiv with 170 games, but we're not counting that. Everything else is negative. IE, I guess, maybe, if you go like Zeal IE, but eh. Yeah, that should... I don't really like how that's the thing. How it's like, there's only one choice. It's just Bork first, and that's about it. I think it's really, really boring. And as I said in the last slide, that rushing Bork into Zed Fiddle comp, very awkward. And I wish there was more choices with like Shield Bow first item. And yeah, now the current state of Yone. At the moment, Yone is basically a champion that has no proactive laning phase and has a really brain dead, no skill setup. Like, I feel like people used to think Tempo was brain dead, but I think Fleet and this setup is way more brain dead. As you can see at the bottom, I put the most popular setup. Usually it's second wind over bone pudding, but obviously it depends on what lane you're playing. Mid lane, it's going to be second wind, which I find just completely boring, completely brain dead style of Yone. Because you just have so much healing. Fleet, Absorb Life, Second Wind, D-Shield, and Teleport. So you just have 5 ways, or you have 4 ways of healing, and you're gonna rush Bork, which is Vamp Scepter. So you have 5 ways of healing and then TP. So basically you're just like out sustaining your opponent, getting hit by every skill shot in the game, and you're still just chilling. Like, is that fun? Is that like interactive? And the reason people never used to do that, well, first, Absorb Life was never in the game, and Lethal Tumble was just more proactive and took a lot more skill. But now it's just like, oh, now we have all this healing, which means you can't solo kill anyone, basically, even if you land all your abilities. But you can't get solo killed. So it just makes the champ very boring to verse and very boring to play. Because, like, that's why his win rate right now, I think I checked this patch, is like 49% mid lane. Because, yeah, he's just a flip champion. You can't die in lane, but you can't get kills, which essentially just making him brain dead and flip. Which I just think, again, is just not very fun for anyone. It's just a very... I hate when Fleet is the most popular setup on this champ. I still take PTA. I think it's just more fun, at least. But, yeah. Yeah, ending thoughts. Buff to make early game a bit more playable. I don't mind a weak early game, which, honestly, we don't really have a weak... When I say, like, weak early game, I mean... Like, yeah, I can't just, like, kill someone level 3. Like, I don't mind that, but I want, like, a better early game damage-wise with attack speed, and then they nerf, like, this Fleet shit, you know? Like, as I said here, nerf Fleet and Absorb Life in exchange for more damage. Because, yeah, it's just... I want Yone to be a champion where it's, like, you actually have to, like, dodge and, like, use your W well to, like, not get hit by poke. And, like, you need to hit those early trades to, like, actually have some, like, say in the matter, you know? Because currently, again, it's just get hit by everything, you don't even have to, like, land anything for trades, and you just heal everything back up. Which I think, ideally, Yone should be a champion where you have to hit your trades so you give yourself pressure in the lane by hitting your abilities and making it be like, oh shit, he can kill me. It's more proactive for everyone, you know? Yeah, make a viable crit first item on Yone so you can actually team fight at 2 items, which again, I think makes it way more healthier for everyone. Not rushing Bork first, so he just automatically wins every single 1v1, every single split push. It's boring. It's boring. Lifesteal first is like kind of boring too because you're just not punished, again. But yeah, in the end, my goal is to make the champ more fun to verse and punishable while making him more fun to play. So yeah, that's about all my thoughts on Yone. So basically, TLDR, just get rid of this like Fleet setup. I think it's really just unproactive, boring nonsense. Like makes the champ the lowest skill he's ever been. I know everyone thinks he's no skill champion, but I mean, he definitely is. And this Fleet setup just is not doing it. But yeah, hopefully they do something with these changes to make him more fun to play early game, more fun to play in team fights, and just weaker in the 1v1, so you actually have to land all your abilities, not lifesteal and get hit by everything. But yeah, let me know how you guys think about all this. And yeah, that's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.